I welcome all of you to the class. And as far as the today's class is concerned, today's class is very important. As far as the stresses, two-dimensional state of stresses in a machine element is concerned. Okay. As far as the equations for the stress transformation, which we discussed in the previous class, are concerned, so I will continue from the plane stress transformation equations. And we'll continue from plane stress transformation equation. The plane stress transformation equations that we have and what we have discussed in the previous class are the equations. Plane stress transformation equations. And I will write the equation which I had derived in the previous class is sigma x prime is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau xy sine 2 theta. Let me take this equation first. Listen, as far as sigma x is concerned, sigma x will be given to you. Sigma y will also be given to you. As far as sigma x prime is concerned, sigma x prime essentially becomes a function of theta. That is, at different angles, you will have the different values of sigma x theta. Okay. See, if your theta is 0, you can find the value of sigma x prime. If your angle theta is 45, you can find the value of sigma x prime. Okay. So we can write that as far as the sigma x prime is concerned, sigma x prime is a function of, it is a function of theta. Okay. It is a function of theta. Now, it's only the function of theta. And I can at least say that sigma x prime is a one variable function. It is a one variable. Why this is a one variable function? Because sigma x prime is only the function of theta. As theta changes, the value of sigma x prime also changes. Fine. Now, whenever we have a one variable function, for example, if I write y is a function of x is equal, say for example, is equal to x squared. Okay. So my y is a function of only x. This is also a one variable function. Now, if you plot the graph of this one variable function, you know what will be the graph like? It will be a parabola. Its graph is like this. This is the graph of y equal to x squared. Now you see, as far as the function is concerned, y is a function of x is equal to x square is concerned. If you look at this function, your graph is attaining the minimum value at x is equal to 0. Okay. And as the value of x increases, as the value of your x keeps on increasing, the value of y also keeps on increasing. Are you getting me or not? As the value of x increases, the value of y also keeps on increasing, isn't it? And we can write limit x approaches to infinity, limit x approaches to infinity, y is equal. Tell me students, as the value of your x becomes a very, very large number, what happens to the value of y? Y also becomes a large number. Therefore, y also approaches to a very big number, what we can call as an infinity. It becomes a very big number. So we can say, as far as the function is concerned, this function is having maximum value. This function is having maximum value at x is equal to infinity. Okay. And this function is having minimum value. This function has minimum value at x is equal to 0. This function has a minimum value at x is equal to 0. Okay. So whenever we have a function, we have a single variable function or a multi-variable function, they always have a minimum value and a maximum. Okay. Now we have sigma x prime is a function of theta. Okay. Sigma x prime is a function of theta. Therefore, we can say at a given or a particular value of theta. Yes, sir, both. At a particular value of theta, our function sigma x prime will have a maximum value, and at another value of theta, our function will have a minimum value. Are you getting me or not? Before we find the maximum and the minimum value, what is very important for us to learn is when we say at a particular value of theta, let me call that as theta 1, my function sigma x prime is having minimum value. And at another value of theta, that is sigma 2, my function sigma x prime has maximum value. Okay. So does not this concept tell me at what value of theta the stress in the meshing element will be maximum, and at what value of theta the stress in the meshing element will be minimum? Okay. Number one, try to understand. So first of all, it's very important for me to find the value of theta at which sigma x prime attains the maximum value, as well as to find another value of theta at which my sigma x prime attains the minimum value. This is the first. Okay. Number two is I have to find first, number one point is I have to find the value of theta at which sigma x prime and sigma x prime attains the maximum and minimum value. I will be having two values of theta. I'll be having two values of theta. And number two is at those values of theta, I have to calculate how much is the maximum value and how much is the minimum value. Okay. So is that fine? Okay. We make use of the calculus. We say if y is a function of x and we have to find the maximum or the minimum value, we have to find the value of x at which our function attains the maximum or the minimum value. What we do, we write dy by dx and put that dy by dx equal 0, isn't it? Now dy by dx is equal to 0 and this equation gets satisfied at some values of x, and those are the values of x at which the function is either having the maximum value or the minimum value. Are you getting me? We know this from our basic calculus. Do I need to tell you how? No. Okay. Now let's take this function which we have. The function that we have, sigma x prime as a function of theta, let me find its maximum and the minimum value. Okay. So how I will find the maximum and the minimum value? I will write, yes, d by d theta. When y was a function of x, I was writing dy by dx. Now sigma x prime is a function of theta. We write d by dx of sigma x prime, and we have to put that equal 0. Okay. So what I will do before I put it equal to 0, let me take the derivative. What will be d by d theta of sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2? It is 0 because sigma x, sigma y, they are not the functions of theta. So their derivative will be 0. Then we have sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. This is not the function of theta. Cos 2 theta is the function of theta. What is the derivative of cos 2 theta? Derivative of cos theta is minus sin theta. So it will be minus, this will be plus or minus, that will be minus sin 2 theta. And multiplied by the internal differentiation. That is d by d theta of 2 theta. That's equal to. Okay. Then plus. Tau xy is not the function of theta. Differentiation of sin 2 theta is 2 times cos 2 theta. I will write that here. And I have to put this entire expression equal 0. Fine. So I can write minus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 sin 2 theta, and this is 2 here, is equal to 2 times tau xy but minus cos 2 theta. Minus goes, this 2 and this 2 will go. Fine, students. So what we can write? We can write, can we write this as sine 2 theta divided by cos 2 theta is equal tan 2 theta, है ना? That is equal twice tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y. That can also be written as tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y whole divided by 2. Okay. So if I am writing now, what is this value of theta? This is not any value of theta. This value of theta either represents the maximum value of theta or the minimum value of theta. Are you getting me or not? So I write this as, I write this as tan theta p. What does I write this as? Tan theta subscript p. And this angle at which our sigma x prime becomes maximum or minimum, that angle is called principal angle. This is called this is what we call as the principal angle. Okay. So I can at least say that principal angle is equal 1 by 2 tan inverse of 1 by 2 tan inverse of tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y by 2. Okay. This angle theta p, it represents my maximum value of theta or the minimum value of theta. Are you getting me or not? I can also represent this theta in some other way. Okay. Okay. I can also write these equations in this way. The principal angle, I have one more way of writing it. And that is quite convenient way and the easiest way of writing the principal angle. How is that? That is, listen. It says that sine 2 theta, sine twice theta pi, that is principal angle. So if you are questioned what's the principal angle, what you will say? That angle in a machine element at which the value of the stress principles, at which the value of the normal stress is maximum or minimum. Okay. So you have sine 2 theta p divided by cos of twice theta p subscript p is equal to tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. Okay. There is one more way of writing this entire thing. Okay, let me. Can you see it here? Yes, sir. What your book is saying? Okay. Is this the same what we have derived? Yes. Okay. So we can move forward. I can, as I was stating, that we can write it in a shortest way. We will do one thing. Let's draw a line system. Let me suppose this is horizontal line. And let's suppose this is the vertical line. Okay. So what I will do, let me draw an angle. Let me draw a right angle triangle, okay? And let's say that this right angle triangle describes an angle with respect to horizontal axis equal to theta p, 2 times theta p. Fine. This right angle triangle we are drawing in such a way. We are drawing this right angle triangle in such a way such that on this right, see, sine theta by cos theta. Okay. Sine theta means perpendicular by hypotenuse. Okay. And cos theta means base by hypotenuse. That can be written as perpendicular by base. So it means this 2 theta p is in such a way, okay, such that the perpendicular of that right angle triangle is equal to tau xy. Okay. And the base of the perpendicular is equal to sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. Okay. So if you are representing this equation in terms of a right angle triangle, if you represent this equation in terms of a right angle triangle, then it simply is an indication that that right angle triangle which we are drawing with an angle, base angle equal to twice the principal angle, then its perpendicular should be equal to how much? Tau xy. And the base of that right angle triangle should be how much? Sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. Okay. Then what will be the hypotenuse of that right angle triangle? Therefore, the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle will be under root of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 square plus tau xy square. This will be the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. Can you recall from Mohr's circle? Yes. Okay. Now with this as a radius, if you change the value of theta p, what it will describe? I mean to say, keep OA as the radius and rotate, keep on changing the angle of twice theta p. So what this OA will describe? Circle. This OA somehow will describe a circle. Somehow you are trying to link the transformation equations and a Mohr circle construction. Okay, there is some link between them. At least we are getting that the right angle triangle which we are drawing, that right angle triangle is having perpendicular equal tau xy. Tau xy. Fine. And its radius, the hypotenuse is also given and the base is also given. Any question till now? Fine. Okay. Now let's do one thing. So we have got our principal angle. So in a given stress transformation, in a given element, if you are asked, this is sigma x, this is sigma y, and on this element, the shear stress is tau xy. On this element, the shear stress is tau xy. What is the principal angle? What do I mean by saying the principal angle? That is, if you rotate this element, at what angle of rotation your normal x stress will have the maximum or the minimum value. So you can directly tell me, sir, the value of the principal angle will be theta p is equal to 1 by 2 tan inverse of perpendicular tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. Tau xy is given, sigma x is given, sigma y is given. Can't we calculate the value of theta p? Isn't it? This is called the principal angle. Now the question is, at this value of theta p, how much is our maximum value of the normal stress? For that purpose, what we will do? We will take this value of theta p and will substitute back in our equation of sigma x prime. Are you getting me or not? To find the value of sigma x prime at the value of theta prime. Are you getting me or not? See how. So I will return back to my equation. The equations that we have. The equations that I will be having now will be, oh, okay, I have sigma x prime is equal sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 cos twice theta p plus tau xy sine twice theta. This gives the value of sigma x prime at theta equal theta p at the principal angle. Now what I will do with the theta p? I have to substitute theta p is equal to how much? 1 by 2 tan inverse of that will be a complicated problem. I will make use of this triangle. I will make use of this triangle. See how I can solve this equation as sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. Now I have cos twice theta p, that is base by hypotenuse. Base is sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2, and I will write hypotenuse by capital H because this is a big equation. So in order to save the time, I will write this by H. Any problem? Okay. Plus tau xy sine, that is perpendicular by hypotenuse, that is tau xy divided by shabash H. Okay, we can now algebraically solve it. We can take now, we can solve these as, this can further be written as sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus, this can be written as sigma x minus sigma y whole square, okay, divided by 4 times h plus tau xy square divided by h. Okay, that can further be written as, okay, that can further be written as, can I write this as sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus, if I take the LCM, what will be the LCM? 4h. Okay, it will be sigma x minus sigma y square plus 4 times tau xy square, which can further be written as sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus, can I write this as sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 whole square plus 2 times tau xy whole square whole divided by h. Sorry. Okay. Is this fine? Okay. Just recall, students, what is this equal? The numerator. Yes, this is equal h square, isn't it? So I can write this as, so what we can write this as, this can be written as sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus h square divided by h. So this is sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus under root of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 plus tau xy square. This represents the value of sigma x prime at theta equal theta p, and this is called, this stress is called the first principle stress. This is called the first principle. This is called the first principle stress. This is called the first principle stress. Okay, you are often asked in the GATE examination. You are given a stress element, you have to find the principal angle, you have to find the principal value. Okay, so you have sigma x, sigma y, so on and so forth. You can do it. Can you do it? Okay. Yes. Now return back to your book. Return back to your book. So if you look, this is done. This triangle I have shown you. Okay, isn't this? We are done with this. This is clear. So as we go down, so now one of the equation out of these we have already done. Have we derived this equation? Yes, but for only sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus under root of this, not for minus. Minus represents the minimum value that I am leaving as an homework for you. Okay, so how you will be doing that? It's given in your book. It's given here. You have to read this much, which I am giving, because I will also be showing it in the class, but I want you to study this much. How you will do in this, it will show you. So the question is just read this much and find the value of the next principal stress. So it means if I return to my board and see the two values of the stress are, so that will be sigma 1 comma 2. So two principal stresses are, one is sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2. One is plus, another is minus under root of, you know what it is. Okay, fine. So these are called the principal stresses. Fine. Now return back to the equation of tau xy is equal to minus, sigma y minus sigma x divided by 2 sine 2 theta plus tau xy cos 2 theta. Can you tell me what will be the value of the tau xy at theta equal to theta prime? Theta equal to principal angle. What you will do in place of sine 2 theta, you will write sine 2 theta p and cos 2 theta p. Theta p, you know. You can find that with the help of that triangle. Can you do it? These two I am leaving as a homework for you. And after solving these homeworks, what you will do? You'll be doing a question. The question is, we are having a stress element. And this stress element is subjected to normal stresses as well as the shear stresses. Okay. The normal stress here is 10 megapascal along sigma x-axis. This is 20 megapascal. This is 15 MPa tau xy. Okay. The question is find theta p. Okay. Part 1. Part 2, sigma 1. Part 2, sigma 2. Part 3, tau xy at theta equal theta. Solve these questions. Okay, this is an assignment for you which you have submitted. So thank you very much.